In the past 24 hours, XRP accounted for about 50% of the entire crypto transaction volume, which, as you can imagine, is staggering. To put that into perspective, the last time we had the same amount of transaction volume was back in 2017 when we had the massive bull run when the price of XRP was around $3.84. As you can imagine, this is a massive thing, but it seems that it has had no effect on the price. Why? Let's find out in today's video. Hello guys, this is Farhan Hussein and welcome back to another video. Well, it seems that we simply can't catch a break from the news relating to Ripple's XRP, and this news, as you already know from the title and as I mentioned before, it's something really great, and that is XRP's 24-hour transaction volume. For those of you who don't know, the 24-hour transaction volume is a key metric that is used by a lot of investors and a lot of different people who trade in various cryptocurrencies to see how well the crypto is doing. And it's also one of those metrics which are being used to see how healthy a specific cryptocurrency is. In the last couple of days, XRP has been smashing records in that direction. Well, what exactly happened? Let's look at this graph to get a better idea of what's actually happening with XRP right now. So this graph, which shows the basic 24-hour transaction volume, and we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP. And XRP is the green line. So basically, back in 21st October, around that day, pretty much all the cryptos, all the top cryptos were trading. The 24-hour transaction volume was about the same, but then after that we started getting an upturn, especially with XRP, and then in 26th October it kind of went really high, and we had around 1.65 million, which is ridiculously high. And ever since then, the transaction volume has remained very high, and even yesterday the transaction volume was around 1.61 million, which, and again, to put things into perspective, this was about the same as we had back in 2017 during the massive bull run. So XRP has a transaction volume of over 50% of the entire crypto market, which again, it's really good, but it seems that it has had no effect on the price. In the past week, the price of XRP has been hovering between 0.28 to $0.30, and as you can see, this very high transaction volume, which generally was meant to show a very significant price increase, has had no effect on this. But before diving into that and explaining why it might not, why the price has not been that affected by this transaction volume, we need to know what caused it. Different people have different reasons on why this has happened, why the number of why the transaction volume has really increased, but it has had no effect on the price. But there are a couple of things which are being resonated by pretty much everybody, whether it's on Twitter or whether it's on YouTube, and that is, number one, a major financial institution is stress testing its system. So basically, as you already know, there are very big financial players which do use XRP, and one of them is MoneyGram, and a lot of people are saying that my major financial institution is kind of stress testing its system, whether the system is able to handle a very large transaction volume. And another reason, which is basically that a whale is transferring from one of his wallet to another one. And the third reason, which in my personal opinion is kind of seems the most accurate one and the most reasonable, because of, I'll tell you in later on in part of this video, and that is a whale is manipulating the volume. As you might already know, whales are those people who have an insane amount of wealth, especially in the cryptocurrency world, and in our case XRP. So basically, some whales have been trying to manipulate the price by trying to manipulate the transaction volume. So what they are doing currently, and that is basically they are sending very small amounts of XRP, in this case around 20 XRP, thousands and thousands of times over between each of their wallets, to show that a very high transaction volume. In fact, another YouTuber by the name of To The Lifeboats made a video on this. I will link in the description box below so you can check that video out, and basically kind of goes to show that these whales are actually kind of manipulating the price by sending by using very small amount of XRP, but doing it thousands and thousands of times over to show a very large transaction volume. And the reason they are doing this is pretty much obviously and that is very obvious, and that is because they really want to manipulate the price, or maybe it is the time they really want to sell a large amount of XRP, so they want to kind of get it up first, they want to increase it up first, then sell it to bring it back down. Another reason why they might be doing at this specific time is because we have swell event coming up. I've already talked about swell in the past. It is Ripple's annual conference in which they announce a lot of things. They bring the industry players, the financial industry players in it, and they have a lot of discussions about this. And a lot of people are expecting Ripple to announce major things during this swell conference. So these whales might be just trying to time that to make a lot of money. But I should mention here, and that is, this is not really official. There is no word coming out of Ripple. They did not issue a statement or anything like that regarding this massive increase in the transaction volume. Or again, as I mentioned before, this could simply mean that a financial institution is just stress testing a system, and to us it might seem like a whale is doing it. So again, there is no official word regarding this. But there is an official word from Ripple, and that is relating to XRP's volatility. A lot of people who are not really into the cryptocurrency world, they complain that these cryptocurrencies are extremely volatile. That is true, they are very volatile, but in the case of XRP, it is in fact 1/10 as volatile as a traditional fiat currencies. And they released an article doing the math behind it. I will link in the description box below, which you can check it out for yourself. But to give you a basic summary of it, they mentioned that XRP for a 3-day fiat, if for example, if XRP was to be as volatile as a 3-day fiat, a traditional cross-border payment, the XRP had to be held for 2 hours. But as you already know, XRP has a transaction speed of around 4 seconds. And so this graph kind of gives you an idea on basically, and it shows you how less volatile XRP is compared to the traditional fiat currencies. And as I mentioned, I'll link it in the description box below so you can check it out. Well guys, that was the video for today. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, especially regarding the extremely high transaction volume that we have been getting and it having absolutely kind of no effect on the price. I would really like to know what you guys think about that. I read most of these comments, and as always, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get your regular updates from the crypto world. And as always, I will see you next time.